Hello again. 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm making mistakes in things I'm saying, so I put those other two videos. Not all of it's a mistake, but it's... Jairam says he looked at his watch at 3:50 a.m, which was 2 to 3 minutes after he says he saw Nurse Williams leaving. But we know she didn't leave at 3:47. She came back then. What I'd like to know is, when is the first time that Jairam formally wrote and signed a statement with the police saying that he looked at his watch and said it was 3:50 a.m. Did he do that before the police had the door data or after? But he's chosen 3:50 a.m. He's chosen 3:50 a.m. before he's made any statement about looking at his watch. What I was trying to do is to tie things back to this email that doesn't get seen by the defense. When he writes that email, he's already putting 3:50 down there in the email, even though the medical note says 3:30. So he's already decided on the time that he sticks with all through the first trial, and then is forced to change in the retrial. It's just made up about this looking at the watch and being certain of 3:50 a.m, I think. Well, it's wrong anyway, isn't it? It's obviously wrong, because Nurse Williams is back in the unit and she can hear alarms going off. I don't know why I think I'm getting myself quite confused, because I'm trying to work out something that I'm not actually sure exactly what I'm trying to work out or understand. You know, it says he testified that 3:30 is a mistake in the medical notes. And it was when, the morphine was signed out from storage rather than the time of the collapse. So he's allowed to move that forward to a time where he can specifically say that he remembered 3:50 when he looks at his watch. He's basing that, looking at his watch at 3:50, it's conditional upon between 2 and 3 minutes after he sees the designated nurse Williams leave. And yet he's choosing that time back in May 2017, and before there's even early May 2017, 4th of May, that before there's even an investigation or anyone's looked for door data, presumably. Unless has he asked for door data himself? Is that a possibility? And he's been given the wrong door data? I'm talking about Jairam. Has he asked for door data before there's an investigation? Or has that just come from the police and they've got it wrong? Is he told about that door data before he makes a formal, signed, written statement about his alleged memory of looking at his watch at 3:50 a.m, between 2 and 3 minutes after he says he sees or saw Nurse Williams leaving? That's what I want to know. Does he make that statement about 3:50 a.m. to the police, the memory of that time looking at his watch, before or after the police get the door data? If it's before they get the door data? Is he just lucky? Is he just lucky that... so in other words, he's made a statement to the police saying, I looked at my watch at 3:50 a.m, and it was about 3 minutes after. He's telling this to the police and signing it. 3 minutes after I watched Nurse Williams leave. And then it just so happens that the door data, albeit wrong, comes back to support that, just by chance. Funny, how strange is that? So if it's that way round, or is it the other way round? That he's told by the police, there's a bit of a helpful hint. He's told by the police, oh, we've got the door data for Nurse Williams leaving, and it's 3:47, even though it's wrong, but that's what they tell him. Let's say that's what happens, and then he can say, yeah, I watched her go. I waited 2 to 3 minutes, and so that's why it's 3:50 a.m. Even though it's impossible. I'm trying to work out if there's any room at all for him being... Well, we know we've got the huge issue about the fact that Lucy Letby, he's put it in that email that she's called him in, and then that has to disappear completely. Why is he choosing back on the 4th of May, before there's an investigation even, before they know that the police are going to be involved in an investigation? He's already established 3:50 a.m, even though the notes he's reading say 3:30. So what does that say about him? That he's already decided, would he claim if he was here, if we were asking him, oh, when I wrote that email, which helpfully isn't seen by the defence, the 4th of May 2017 email, would he say, oh, I already remembered then that I looked at my watch at 3:50 and that's why I put that there? But really, the 3:50 is really more rooted to the morphine infusion prescription chart that had a recorded start time of 3:50, which aligned with his recollection, apparently. I don't know, I'm getting in circles, going in circles. So is it this? Well, in May 2017, when he's writing that email, Dr. Jayaram, does he look at the morphine infusion chart and say, hold on a minute, that doesn't make sense? And then he just ignores the sudden deterioration in the medical note 3:30, and he just says, well, no, it must have been 3:50. It must have been 3:50 because of that, and the watch thing gets added in. Why did he need to bring the watch into it? Why did he need to? Why did he need to have the watch thing at all? If he's got the morphine infusion prescription chart to lead him to believe that the 3:30 figure is wrong, and it's actually 3:50, or just a bit before, because he's got to do the reintubation and then do the morphine, hasn't he? So it's not dead on 3:50. Why does Jayaram need a story in which he puts himself in the position where he's saying that he remembers a long time after the events looking at his watch and seeing the exact minute, for them to open himself up to that being scrutinized. In other words, if he didn't do that, why would he put himself in the position to say that? Did he need to have the watch and the time going on? Why did he need to do that? Why couldn't he have said, why did he need the looking at the watch to firm up what he'd already ascertained was what he's saying was the actual time of the crash based on the morphine prescription? Why did he need that extra strand? How did it help him to have that extra strand? Is it because he was told about what Nurse Williams was doing because via the door data that the police had got, 3:47? In other words, he had to be sure she wasn't there, and that's why he's added the watch bit in. And then it's confirmed, in quotes, that she wasn't there, even though she was there, because the door data's the wrong way around. Is that what it is? If he didn't look at his watch at 3:50 and remembered it, if that just didn't happen, why would he need to do it? Why couldn't he just say, oh, I went in there and I saw Lucy Letby doing nothing. Oh, what time did that happen? Well, I'm assuming it's 3:50 because that's what it says on the morphine infusion chart. Why does he need to have a watch? I can't grasp it. Why does he need to set himself up for that? Is it just to make it sound more? Oh, I don't know. I can't work it out. I don't, there's something, it's not making sense. Why did he become hostage to fortune by having to pin that down to him looking at a watch? Now, irrespective of whether he looked at the watch or not, the 3:50 time just didn't end up working, did it? Anyway, because the door data's wrong. It's just, I don't know. What is he lying about, and when? Well, when is he lying, and why? Well, why? Because he wants he wants this to, in conjunction with the police, he wants to get this conviction once they've started. Yeah, so it says here, the morphine infusion prescription chart that he signed recorded a start time of 3:50 a.m. That's what aligned with his recollection. Why did he need to align it with his recollection if it was just there why couldn't they just hang on to that? Why bring the looking at the watch in? Why would he need to bring that? If he says, I watched Nurse Williams go, and then why does he have to look at a watch? Why can't he just say, well, I feel uneasy, then I go in? I know it's all made up because he's obviously said that somebody came out and asked him to come in. Although even if there are alarms going, would it require somebody to come out? Maybe. But wouldn't he be going in of his own accord if the alarm's going? Wouldn't he be doing that? I think I know why I'm sort of puzzling over this is because I don't think we're ever going to know what happened that night. And he's not going to be telling the truth about what happened that night. So there's what happened that night. There is something definite that happened that night. People were in certain places, left at certain times. Alarms either did go off or didn't go off. And there was a desaturation when that happened. We don't know, really. We know approximately when it happened, but who was there at the time? We're never going to. We're never going to be able to get back there to the reality of it. And so you can have all these versions that are built up with people coming, someone, maybe Lucy, maybe not Lucy, coming to ask him. And then there's other version with nobody coming to ask him. And him just waiting 3 minutes after he's watched Nurse Williams go and then going in. It doesn't make sense. We know that his original story, that for some reason let's just say he hadn't introduced the idea of looking at his watch. I don't see why he needed to bring that into it even. Let's just say he was aware. He's got to paint this scene. He's got to paint a scene in which he believes that Lucy's on her own with the baby, even though I don't think she's in the room at all. But anyway, he's got to paint a scene in which he watches the other nurse go, Nurse Williams, waits for a few minutes, getting more and more troubled, and then he reaches a tipping point and he says, I've got to get up, I've got to go in there. I don't know, I just feel bad, I feel very uncomfortable is what he said. I'm feeling more and more uncomfortable. What did he say? I think, am I going mad? Am I being hysterical? No, I've just got to check it. I don't feel right. I've just got to check, I'm compelled to do it. And then he goes in there. Why did he, let's say he's telling that as a story, which he is. Why did he need to have a watch? The watch element. If it ends up, I mean, I know it goes wrong because the door data's wrong. If it ends up with the police saying to him, oh, Dr. Jayaram, we've got the door data, and Nurse Williams leaves at 3:47. That's what they say. It's wrong, but they say it to him. And he says, yeah, well, I watched her go, and then it was only a short time. It was only a short time, and then I went in, and then we found that there was a desaturation there. We got very busy on it, and myself and Dr. Smith, and we did all the things with the bagging and the capnograph and all this sort of thing, and we were busy there. And then we did the morphine infusion then. And I remember, and I've signed it, as you can see. I signed the morphine infusion that started the morphine at 3:50. So I must have gone in there. I'll use that as something definite that I don't have to remember. I don't have to be in court in the witness box and make myself sound as though I'm remembering looking at my watch and seeing the exact time. I don't have to do that. I can rely on the medical notes. Well, I can't rely on the one that says 3:30, but I can rely on the morphine infusion one, because if it's 3:30, there's just way too much time between 3:30 and this morphine infusion. And the morphine infusion I've signed. Why do I need to construct the idea of, or bind myself to the idea of looking at a watch and saying that I can remember the exact minute a long, long time ago? Is it because it sounds more compelling? Is it because it's meant to sound more compelling? Would it come under the heading of gilding the lily, over-egging the pudding? Is that what it is? And the police liked it and they thought, that's great. Well, if you're going to say that, that's fantastic, especially because it fits with our door data, even though it ends up not fitting with it. There's something else. And then we come to the fact that because it didn't fit with the door data, eventually, the idea of the watch cannot make sense. Cannot make sense at 3:50 and not have Nurse Williams in the room when he goes in. If he stuck to that, so he couldn't stick to that, so they moved it back several minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it was, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Over, there's a window of time. They created a new window of time. They just went back. They just moved it. If he was wrong about the time and he'd gone in earlier, well, does the morphine time on the chart still make sense then? I suppose it could do, couldn't it? What doesn't make sense is that he looks at the watch. That morphine time can't be exactly 3:50, can it? If he's saying he looked at his watch and it was 3:50, he's not running the morphine within a minute, is he? Is he? Or maybe I don't. I know it's all mixed up because it couldn't have been happening then. Did he believe? I'm not. I just don't understand why he's brought the watch into it. Is it to tie it into the morphine infusion time? Is it to fit in with it? Why did he need it though? If he's got a signed document there when he's running the morphine infusion, by which time Nurse Williams is back and has been back for 3 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should stop doing videos about this part of it because I can't. There's something I'm trying to grasp there, and I just can't. I don't know what it is. Either way, he's decided back in May 2017 on the 4th to go with this time of 3:50 for the crash. He's decided. In the WhatsApp groups they've got, has he told other people at that time, before the police investigation has even started, is even a thing? Has he told them that, I looked at my watch? Has he just kept that to himself for all that time? I don't know. It's just trying to grasp something that's just evasive. Maybe I'm just got to stop it because it's obviously just wrong anyway. It's just wrong anyway. Isn't the truth of it that we're never going to know even though the morphine prescription chart has a recorded start time at 3:50, we don't actually know whether that's accurate, do we? And we don't know whether when the crash exactly happened either, do we? We don't know exactly when it happened. It just happened over a... It's not that it did happen in the night. It did happen between 3 and 4, but we don't know exactly when it happened and who was there. We don't know who was there. We don't know... Well, he said himself... I mean, this is the thing. I mean, the more important thing is the thing about Nurse Lucy Letby came out to call him in. That's the most important thing. And that is, I think that was on a medical note that was conveniently got rid of, you know. You can go mad with this stuff, can't you? Because you can go mad with that. Sorry, it's just too much, isn't it?